On behalf of the Professional Baseball Strength and Conditioning Coaches Society, I'd like to welcome you to the PBSCCS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Messina.
All right, everybody, I'm here with Kory Wan of the New York Mets organization. Kory, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate your time. Tell the listeners about yourself, if you would, please.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Chris. Yeah, so like Chris said, Kory Wan, right now, AA strength coach for the New York Mets here in Binghamton, New York. Second year here in Binghamton, fifth year with the Mets. Been all over the place. I mean, Kingsport, Tennessee, rookie ball all the way to which is Savannah, low A, and then Florida State League with our team in St. Lucie. So fifth year with these guys. Loved every minute of it, and it's fun, man. You can't complain about it, as you guys know.
I've seen Kingsport, and obviously I've seen Binghamton. I'm here now. We're talking, and a couple interesting cities that you've had to live in. So kudos to you
definitely.
for getting through seasons in those cities.
Definitely. I mean, they're cool spots, enough stuff to do around here. But like in season, like we got baseball, one day off, and then you're right back at it. So as long as there's good food around and a nice place to stay, that's all we have time for.
Well, Binghamton has some sneaky good food spots, so I will give you that one.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So you played some baseball back in college, and I kind of want to start off there and kind of discuss how your playing days have helped you in your professional strength coach days.
Yeah, so played a little bit of D2 ball back in back just outside of Tampa at St. Leo University. Was fortunate enough there to get a scholarship there out of high school. Played 4 years. Had a great time. Just like any of our other guys, like I wanted to be a professional baseball player when I was growing up. And strength and conditioning was kind of just on like the back burner. Something that was there. We had to do it. I mean, we had a great strength and conditioning program back there with our guy, Coach Stuart Hart, who's now at Nebraska with the women's basketball team. But yeah, like I said, played there for 4 years. Had a lot of fun, and that just ended up taking me down the strength and conditioning route, down the rabbit hole with that, and got me all into it.
So I played a little bit too. I played D3. We didn't have a strength coach, so I never experienced the strength and conditioning in a group as an athlete versus being the strength coach. Is it weird? Is that different? Like how did that work? Did that actually like push you to want to be a strength coach, or was that just and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, actually I kind of like doing this. I'm going to be a strength coach.
At the time, to start out, our high school program that I was at didn't have any strength and conditioning, so everything was brand new to me. When I first started, it was just this guy barking orders, trying to help us. And obviously there's guys that want to be there, guys that don't want to be there. So for me, if there's somebody out there that's going to help me, like I'm going to listen to them, especially when they know a lot more about something than I do. Like I had no previous knowledge of strength and conditioning. So this guy, it was his job to help train us and get us better. And there was a few guys on our team that I really respected, and they were, they definitely bought into the program. So that was easy for me to just hop on board and be like, all right, this guy's trying to help us here. So if he tells us something, like I'm gonna listen to him, and until otherwise, like I'm just gonna be on board from it. And then just over the years, working with him and just going through the program, seeing how I was getting stronger, seeing how other guys on our team were getting better from it. It was just something I was like, man, like if this is helping me this much, like I want to go ahead and help others with it. Like, especially if they have the same dreams and goals and aspirations as I do. Like, shoot, let's just go out and help other people. Like, because this guy helped me. So it's almost like pass the torch, like help other people.
Yeah, I think if I would have been in a setting like that as an athlete, I actually probably would have been one of the ones that doesn't listen. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to my lifting and my work. So we get some of those athletes, that are stubborn and don't want to listen to us, and I can kind of relate with them because I probably would have been one of those guys. So it might be better that I didn't experience it. But no, man. So in terms of playing, like, do you ever get called out on like baseball activity? Like for me, I'll get called out like, oh, you're just a big meathead, you can't throw the ball, and then I'll play catch and guys will look at me sideways like, wait a minute, you know how to play baseball? Like, yeah, I played the game, I understand the game. Like, does that ever come around, and if so, how has that helped you?
Yeah, so especially my first year in Kingsport with those guys, they didn't really know anything about me. I mean, I was just that guy, first year guy who came in and was trying to get the respect from those guys, learn those guys, learn the names, learn the personality, stuff like that. And didn't really tell people much that, like, I played back in the day. I mean, because I was in the past. So I just wanted to be the strength coach, be that guy. And that's what I was there for. I wasn't there for a hitting coach or an infield coach or anything like that. Like, we're strength and conditioning coaches. So a couple guys, I mean, if they needed somebody to play catch with, go out there, play catch, and a couple guys here and there in Kingsport were like, oh, like, all right, this guy's like, I can actually throw the ball to him. Like, here we go. And I'd tell him the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, like, throw it. Like, I'll catch it. Don't worry. Like, throw it. And I'm going to throw it right back at you, So it definitely did help to build a little bit of rapport there. A couple guys were like, all right, so maybe he does know a thing or two about baseball. And then, like I said, you just learn more and more about the guys. You start to interact and communicate with the guys, and being able to, like, talk baseball with them, talk plays, anything like that. It definitely does build a rapport, and guys are like, all right, so maybe this guy does know a thing or two about baseball on the field. And then when you're able to translate strength and conditioning off the field and bring the two together, guys can definitely learn how to buy into the system.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. Like, you kind of want to stay in your lane, and you don't want to go out of your way to give tips on baseball stuff. That's what the coaches are for. But if you get called out, man, it's a good feeling to, like, go out there. And I'll never forget my first home run, man. I took staff BP in
yes.
Bluefield, Virginia, which you probably know the Bluefield Blue Jays from being in Kingsport. And we were doing throwing program, and all the guys are just stopped throwing and just watching. Like, you can't hit, and then I crushed one. And the guys are like celebrating, like, congrats on your first professional home run, blah, blah, blah. Like, guys, I know how to swing the bat. Like,
that's awesome.
It's not that foreign to me, but no, that's good, man. That's good. So, I mean, you being in Binghamton, we've had plenty of talks over the last couple of years, and so I'm interested to hear this one from you. What do you believe in within strength and conditioning that others think you are crazy for believing?
I really believe that you can lift heavy in season, and I know I've heard it a few times on your podcast before from other guys, but yeah, I really think even with the travel schedule, stuff like that, getting into hotels, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. As long as it's structured correctly, and as long as you're listening to the guys, I really think that you can definitely lift heavy in season. So obviously there's going to be those days that guys are feeling beat up. You're going to take those days off to really just break it down, work on the fundamentals, the technique, lighten that load. But if a guy's feeling good and like everything's going according to plan with their weekly progression, there's no reason why you can't hit like a heavy set of 4, heavy set of 5 for that given day.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of people are kind of saying that to this question on the podcast, and I'm right there with you. Agree completely. I think the biggest thing you said there is if it's structured correctly. If you're just, throwing it on the wall and seeing what sticks and, hey, let's go heavy, it's kind of out of place, then that might not be as ideal. But if it is structured correctly, I definitely agree you could go heavy in season.
Absolutely.
So what do you believe makes a strength and conditioning coach successful? Maybe first start with in general and then maybe specifically in professional baseball.
In general, I just think of guys that are able to relate and build effective relationships. If you got a guy who trusts in you and believes in you, and will do your program to a T, then that's success right there. I feel like it doesn't matter how many guys you make it, you help get to the big leagues, anything like that, because those are a dime a dozen, and sometimes they may not be the best or hardest worker that you have. They just might be just great, phenomenal athletes. So I think just building a person, building a guy, making him a better man, in general makes a good strength and conditioning coach. Because, like we see these guys for maybe an actual total of an hour and a half of true strength and conditioning work. And then all the other time is just, talking to a guy. Hey, how's your parents? How's your wife? How's your kid? How are you doing? Personally. So I think that just being able to communicate with people and have them just feel like they're cared about makes a good strength and conditioning coach.
How about in baseball specifically, professional baseball?
Man, professional baseball, probably, like I said, communication and maybe somebody who's able to have sort of feel in the game. Feel is huge. Just when it comes to adapting a program and getting the most out of your guys every single day. Schedules, like I said, with travel are really hard. You can't really fit your program to every single guy. You definitely have to mold the program around the guy. So individualizing stuff like that definitely makes a good strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, especially at our level and kind of above, when guys are getting a little bit older and they have their routines and what they like to do, having that feel is huge. And it's funny, I've had, a lot more people on that are a little older and have a little skin in the game, and they all just keep saying, have some feel, have some feel, have some feel. So it's a reoccurring piece of advice, and I think it sticks especially in baseball, just with the unique demands of schedule and travel and playing every day and finding road gyms and all of that stuff. So it's good advice.
Absolutely. Man. Definitely not optimal for a true strength and conditioning program for the travel and everything.
Agreed. So what advice specifically do you have for others in the field, maybe other than having some feel, maybe like young guys or gals trying to get into the field in professional baseball? What advice would you have for them on how to maybe get a job like this?
I would just, for first getting the job, I would say network. It's amazing how far just knowing somebody and having that first step or that first foot to get in the door, for somebody getting in. As far as advice for when you're in the field, starting out, just learn your guys. The more that they come to learn that you care about them and you're not just another number, or they're just not another number, I think they'll go a lot more. It'll go a lot longer. Those guys will just be more open to doing stuff and your views and how you like to run things.
Yeah, when I first got in with the Pirates, they told me that I need to find out 3 things about 3 different guys each day, and so I carried a little notebook with me, and it really forced me to just talk to people, because I was new. I had no idea who anybody was. I didn't know how baseball worked, any of that, but they were like, you'll learn that stuff in time, but getting to know the guys right now is your number one priority. So I was just out talking to everybody, and it wasn't necessarily strength and conditioning. It was stuff like you said, how are you, how's your family, tell me about life back home away from baseball, and the relationships that I built just in those few short weeks of being there was unbelievable. I still keep in touch with a lot of those guys over there just because of how we started on that right foot and that good first impression. So very good advice.
Absolutely.
So where do you go for continuing ed? Are you reading books, listening to podcasts, you attending seminars in the off season? Where are you going? And maybe give me some examples of what you're reading or what you're listening to.
Definitely listen to this podcast. Obviously, it's always nice just to throw on a little PBSCCS on a nice little road trip. A couple other podcasts that I've liked, Brute Strength, more CrossFit-esque, but they definitely have some good speakers on there. There's a few nutrition podcasts that I've really gotten into. One guy's with Jason Phillips. It's I believe it's called the All In, something like that. All In. But the guy's named Jason Phillips, who does it. Our organization has really took a big turn for nutrition this year with strength and conditioning. So just trying to stay up to date with that kind of stuff has really been helpful. As far as books go, haven't been able to really read as much as I'd like to. But a couple books with your guy Justin Sua. Have tried to crack into that. And then just seminars, really just whatever I can get around to during the off season. The winter meetings was great to get out to this year. So hopefully we'll be able to keep that going into next off season as well.
So you said you like Brute Strength, and now you know Justin. Did you listen to his episode on there?
I did. So it's good stuff. I mean, that's kind of stuff that like I don't necessarily think about as a strength coach, like the mental side of it, like how much that actually plays into motivation and just your overall outlook. I'm like, hey, I got 315 on the bar right now. I got to move for 5 reps. Like, if you have any sort of self doubt, like that's no good. You just got to attack it. So trying to use that a little more with the guys has definitely been a big help.
For sure. And if anybody listening doesn't know who Justin Sue is, definitely give him a follow.
Yeah, check him out. Great dude.
Big time.
Great dude.
Big
knows
time
his
plug.
stuff.
Big time plug right there. But Justin's my boy, and I'm very lucky to be able to interact with him as much as I do. So selfless plug for him.
There we go.
But we're getting some rain right now, so early work might be banged. So I think you should have some time for a lightning round. What do you expect, or what do you got?
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
All right, so first one, who is your biggest influence in the field of strength and conditioning?
All right, biggest influence. I got to go with 2. The first one would be Stuart Hart. Like I said, my college strength and conditioning coach. He basically brought me into the field. Got me into strength and conditioning. Spent I don't know how many hours there my senior year at college. Go to weights, go to class. Didn't have class, grab some food, come back, and he would just start teaching, start lecturing, just trying to help me out here and there with everything from coaching cues to philosophy to, hey, write me a program, then I'm just going to analyze the crap out of it and tell you what I think. So he was definitely the guy who got me into the field and definitely helped push me to get in here. And the second guy is Mike Barwis. Our head guy here with the Mets. Very fortunate to work with him for the past 3 to 4 off seasons down there in Florida with our guys, taking guys through his program, and just everybody from his staff down there with his PTs, Nick and Brian B. Wright down there, the guy who runs the facility. Those guys are just awesome. Wealth of knowledge. Never afraid to ask them a question, reach out to them, be like, hey, got so-and-so, got this going on with so-and-so, where do you think we should go with it? Those guys just huge influence and always there to help us if we need a question answered or anything like that.
Right on, man. Next one piece of equipment to train with. I have an idea. I think I might know, but what do you got?
Going barbell.
Yeah, I have.
Give me some barbell and some bumpers.
I had you pegged as a barbell guy for sure.
Absolutely.
Biggest accomplishment professionally and or personally?
Let's see. professionally, maybe just getting into the field. I mean, there's only 30 organizations here that are in Major League Baseball, so probably just getting in there. Personally, probably getting my undergraduate. That was big. I was the first person in my family to do that. Graduate from a 4-year university, and that was really cool. I remember that day graduating and just how proud I was of myself for accomplishing that, and just I remember how proud like my parents and my family were for me, because I mean they were right there every step of the way with me, just trying to do the best and be the best man that I could be, and that was a cool experience.
That's awesome, man. I have a feeling maybe in the future a wife situation might change that as your top thing. But for now, that sounds like a good one.
Absolutely. Yep. That will be coming soon.
Any career other than strength and conditioning, what would you choose?
Man, I've heard this one a lot on the podcast, and aside from strength and conditioning, man, I know growing up as a kid, like I was really into like flying jets. Like so I'd maybe say like an Air Force pilot or something like that. But I was big into that. I really loved like just jets and stuff like that. So I'd probably say something like that. The armed forces, just flying planes.
I could dig that.
Yeah.
I got one more for you. Best place that you've dropped in for a lift. You told me you're like the drop-in king. So where's the best place?
I would have to say in your city of Portland, Maine. There's a place called Misfit Athletics, CrossFit gym, weightlifting. But that place is it's sweet. The guys get after that are all in there. They just have fun. It's a great community there, and they're always welcoming, which is super nice on the road, because you don't like being that new guy everywhere you go, and every time you come back, it's like, oh hey, how you doing? Like they actually remember you.
Huh. That's awesome that it's in Portland too.
Yeah, Portland's a good spot. Good spot.
Cool. Well, it's been fun, man. Appreciate you coming on. And if the listeners want to get in touch with you, where can we find out more from you? On social media?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, Instagram. I think it's a Kory Wan 9 with an underscore in between that. I got a Twitter. I'm not too sure what that one is. I believe it's Kory Wan 9 again too. Not really too posty on Twitter. More just there to see what other people are doing. Email. It's Kwan, KWAN @nymets.com. Feel free to shoot me an email, anything like that. Always down to talk shop and get in touch with other strength and conditioning coaches out there.
For sure, man. Well, like I said, appreciate you coming on, and I'll be seeing you at the ballpark probably in a couple hours here.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
All right, everybody, that concludes this episode with Kory. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was cool to hear him talk about his playing days and how they've helped him in the field. And I'm sure that's something that a lot of us can relate to, having been former athletes ourselves. 3 things that I took from Kory: learn about your athletes, build your network, and don't be afraid to lift heavy in season. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll talk to you again on the next one.